Well, now I got a gal and there ain't no doubt. She got kisses so sweet they make my teeth fall out. Yo, pretty sugar, yeah, she's your pretty sugar. Your pretty sugar, sweet as she can be.
Hey, and welcome to an episode of Junk Food. This is Junk Food and You, where I interview cool people about what they know about candy and stuff like that. Today, we have the world-famous Ming Chen, star of AMC's Comic Book Men, and star of, I think, about 1 million podcasts?
A million and one. We're getting pretty close.
So, what I want to talk to you about, I mean, considering you are on one of the sort of foremost comic book shows, is how food and junk food sort of mixes with comic books. Do you have any...
Oh God, I think they go hand in hand. Anytime I read a comic or a trade paperback or a graphic novel, I need junk food. I need snacks, whether that be either sweet or savory. I usually lean toward sweet though. I keep one of those big bags of Skittles around just for an occasion like this. Just kind of some mindless, just popping Skittles well, they are candy, just like candy, and keeps my energy up, keeps my blood sugar up, so I can keep going and keep reading the action-packed pages inside a comic book.
Do you think that these comic books have influenced you on the types of candies you eat, like be it the advertising or be it actually maybe being referenced in a comic book?
Oh, for sure. My first comic I got when I was 6 years old, the episode of Avengers 214. And I not only did I read the contents cover to cover, but I was fascinated by all the ads inside. So, what kid didn't want to go out and buy a Hostess fruit pie after reading that Spider-Man ate them, and that's how it helped him catch criminals? Or in this particular issue, there was an ad for Hubba Bubba Bubblegum, and there was actually a little demonstration for making a piece of Hubba Bubba disappear. It's like a little magic trick. So, if you're going to advertise candy, the perfect place to do it is within the pages of a comic book.
I also have these memories, because I used to be a big comic collector. Not as much anymore. Now that I travel more, I don't really have the time to carry a collection with me. But I still remember that in the 90s there was this ad for corn nuts on the back of it, and it was this crazy painted advertisement, and it sticks in my head every time I think about this sort of thing.
Yeah, those were huge, and they needed the advertising. Otherwise, why would people want to eat big giant corn kernels? But you make it look cool, and everybody wants to do it. So
yeah, definitely. And I remember those Hostess pie ads too. I remember because the first time I remember reading one of those was actually in a Spider-Man comic, and I thought that the story just went for the weirdest twist ever.
Yeah, it's like I thought he was fighting the Green Goblin here. It's like, why is he eating lemon and cherry fruit pies? But yeah, Walt has a story. Walt doesn't eat anything. We're talking about a man who's never eaten a hot dog or a sandwich. But he told me when he saw that ad when he was a kid, he wanted one, and his mom wouldn't get it for him. She was like, "Listen, I'll buy this for you, but I know you're not going to like it. You're not going to eat it, and I'll waste my money." So, to this day, he's never had a Hostess fruit pie either.
Wow. If I ever happen to go down to the stash, I might have to just bring one for him.
You should. Whether or not he takes a bite or not, I don't know. But I know Mike and I will definitely will take whatever he doesn't eat.
Well, fortunately, with the sort of the candy website and everything that I do, I regularly get boxes of free samples and stuff like that. So if that comes up, if I manage to get a sample of those, I'll see if maybe they can ship some to the stash as well.
That's amazing, and I love that you have a podcast just all about candy and junk food. It's something I don't know if I'm as passionate as you about, but I love. In life, I find that I love anything with variety. So that goes to junk food, that goes to candy, that goes to beer, that goes for any type of food, that goes to travel. So I'm with you, man. I wanna try everything out there. The weirder, the better.
What's the weirdest sort of junk food thing you can think of that maybe you've tried recently?
That's a great question. Recently, a friend of mine gave me an energy bar, and I started eating it. And he's like, "You know what's in there, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's really good though." And they were made from ground up crickets. So I think they're trying to start that as the next big thing as a source of cheap protein, is ground up crickets.
I was in
and it was pretty good.
I was in Thailand recently, And on one of the main streets, it's sort of this thing now where you can buy scorpions on a stick.
Did you try one?
I didn't. You know what? It was the type of thing. I think it was a tourist place, so they ended up like $10 a piece. And I just thought, I'm not gonna spend $10 to buy something that I'm probably not gonna like.
Yeah, but you never know until you try. That's always my main, as one of my main mottos. I don't know if I go $10 for a scorpion. I pay $3 for a good scorpion. Maybe I'd go up to $5 for a scorpion. But yeah, I've been to those Asian countries. You see. They put everything on a stick. They'll put insects on a stick. They'll put squid on a stick. They'll put pig's blood, like congealed pig's blood, on a stick, and that's considered junk food out there. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, the Asian market really doesn't have as much of a sweet tooth as much as they go for things like bugs, or in Japan it's really popular to have sweet potatoes. That's like a huge sweet treat. So it's like the weirdest thing. They even have like these things that are like ice cream trucks. And they play like a special song, and they sell sweet potatoes.
Wow, that's cool. That sounds a little starchy for me. I would rather have a delicious frozen treat rather than a sweet potato on a stick. But what do I know?
Exactly. So, I mean, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about too is I know that you travel around the U.S. a lot doing these cons and everything like that. And I see on your Instagram regularly you're posting about all the kind of cool things you find. How do you find all these restaurants?
It's something I'm very passionate about. It's something I'll sit there and literally do hours, if not days, of research on a city that I've never been to. And I'm a guy. I don't like chain. I don't like anything chain where I can get. I don't like anything that anybody can get anywhere else. Your Applebee's, your Taco Bell's, your Arby's of the world. Anyone can go to those anywhere on the planet. I want to find out where the local people eat. I want to find out where all the holes in the walls are. I want to find the hidden gems. So I will literally go out online and I'll do research. There are several good websites out there that will list things like that. You just kind of aggregate them. Look at the reviews. I'll actually handwrite lists in a little notebook. I have a little black notebook full of restaurants and their locations. Typically what I'll do, I'll weed out the ones that are super expensive, as I really love the divey places, like the cheap eats places, and then usually I'll go to them, usually based on proximity. If they're fairly close, I'll definitely go to them. If they're far out of the way, I'll make sure that they're really worth the trip. But it really most times when I travel, I'm there for maybe 3 to 4 days, and I got no time to waste. So every place I hit is hopefully is potentially a really good one.
Any chance you'll publish that book at some point?
I don't know. That's a great question. The problem is I could publish it. The problem is things change so fast that I think by the time that book came out, some of the places I've listed may have changed, either changed chefs or changed philosophies, or gone out of business altogether, and new places pop up every day. So it'd be something that I have to update like quarterly, but I would love to do that.
When you're looking for restaurants on websites, I've done this many times myself. Do you have any techniques for really sort of weeding out ones that aren't like the owners hyping it up as opposed to maybe the locals actually hyping it up? Like, is there anything you look for in websites?
I think the great thing is, not only do you get maybe a review on one website, but then you can hop on a site like Yelp and then get reader reviews, which are sometimes more honest, sometimes not. You have to. It's like one of those things where you eliminate the top 5 reviews and you eliminate the bottom 5 reviews and kind of take the ones in the middle. And then if it's a really good place, there'll be multiple reviews all over the internet. You just kind of read all of them and form your own opinion. And if they're really good, the reviews will be consistently good.
If you want to know, I actually know a really good trick that I learned from reading from Anthony Bourdain.
Yes.
There's a really good trick for finding good restaurants, local restaurants. And what you do is make a fake account on a website like Yelp or something like that. Okay. And then write a common thing. Like, I actually tried this in England. I was going to London, and I wanted to try a good pub. And there's a million fake pubs in London because it's sort of a big city. So I wanted to find a good local one. So all I did was I went on like this foodie website, and I said, it was a fake account. I said, there are absolutely no good pubs in London. They all suck. And instantly, I got like hundreds of people defending their local pub, saying,
Oh, yeah.
no, this is good. This is a good one. This is good. And so suddenly I had like 5 or 6 locations of good local pubs because
Right.
people will defend their pubs to like
Right.
internet, the internet anytime. And it's a great technique. So if you're ever in a city, try this out.
Right.
Go to like, their local page and just say, oh, there's no good bars in Portland. And suddenly everybody who has like a good local bar will come out at their defense. And then you'll have a great list of great bars.
That's awesome. That's a great technique.
Yeah.
And, Bourdain's a guy I look up to. He had a TV show called The Layover for a while where he would go to a city for 48 hours and find out all the cool stuff to do and eat there. And, God, I watched that. I was like, man, I would love to do this. I would love to not only get paid to travel, but get paid to eat and drink and get drunk off my ass and have it all be on TV. It's pretty cool.
That is a pretty cool gig. I mean, I'm lucky enough. I get to travel a lot and eat a lot. The one thing I will say is I've seen a lot of Bourdain's stuff, and he has that sort of prayer to not getting food poisoning.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. I don't know about you. Now I haven't traveled internationally a lot, so I know the hygiene and the cleanliness and the food grade and standards are different in other countries. But I think my friends say I have an iron stomach, though. That they've seen me eat some pretty weird things, and I've been lucky enough not to have been seriously food poisoned. I hope I didn't just jinx that, though.
I on average have food poisoning 3 to 4 times a year.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the most pleasant experience.
The one thing I'll warn you, if you do go international traveling, the weird stuff is not what's going to get you. It's always the normal stuff that gets you.
Okay, so always eat weird then, which is what I usually do. So
yeah, I mean, it's like you'll go to a place and you'll like eat like a plate of cockroaches, and there'll be a side of lettuce, and the lettuce hasn't been cleaned properly, and suddenly that'll be what kills you.
Which is weird. Speaking of weird, Mike Zapsik and I recently went to Denver. We went to the oldest restaurant in Denver, which I'm trying to look up the name now. But their big thing was one, the Rocky Mountain oysters. Don't know if you've ever had those. Don't know if you know what those are, but I'm sure you've heard of them. And I ate elk and ostrich, which was very good. Little gamey, but good. The place called the Buckhorn Exchange Restaurant, if you're in the Denver area.
Okay. I do know what prairie oysters are. I haven't tried them. I think I've tried elk before. My wife is actually really sort of experimental with meat in particular.
Yes.
And we actually came back. We were in southern Africa for about 3 weeks, and there she tried like kudu, all this sort of game stuff. She almost had an opportunity to even try giraffe at one point, but
it's weird. I meet a lot of people. It's like, oh man, I wouldn't eat that. That's disgusting. I'm like, how is that more disgusting than the belly of a pig or the muscle of a cow
or oysters?
Yeah, or oysters. So, I think beef tongue is one of those things that people that I love. I think it's great, but I have a lot of friends who won't eat it just because it sounds weird. But I'm like, it tastes like beef. I mean, why wouldn't it?
And it's super lean.
And so are the Rocky Mountain oysters. I thought they were good too.
I've never tried them. I'm sure if I was presented them, I would eat them, particularly because people tend to present me weird foods all the time and sort of challenge me. But I would give it a try.
Yeah, I think if you could get past what they really are, you would. Most people would enjoy them.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. But I'm trying to think. I know that Mike, who's your co-host on the Mike and Ming show and everything, he's a chef, and he goes on a lot of those food adventures with you as well, right?
He does. Yeah, he's a great travel person to travel with, and he'll try most anything. And before he was working at the Stash, before he was a comic book man, he is a trained chef. He started at the Culinary Institute of America. Got down. He was in the trenches cooking for a long time, and I believe one day he just decided when you're in the restaurant industry, the hours are just horrible. They were killing him, so he got out. But he still cooks. One of his big things right now is hot sauce. He's been making his own hot sauce, and we've bottled small numbers of it, and we've taken it to several Comic-Cons, and it's gone over pretty well.
Any chance we'll see it for sale anytime?
He's been talking about it. Yeah, he makes the hot sauce. I do the labels, so it's a cool partnership. He's been looking into maybe releasing it on a larger scale, which would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I've heard all about it on your various podcasts, and it sounds intriguing. For one thing, I remember I think recently I heard that he talks about the flavor rather than the heat, and that's something I appreciate.
Oh yeah, definitely. And, yeah, we're gonna see. We gotta see if we can get some out to you.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would definitely appreciate that. But I mean, we're going to start wrapping up soon because I know you're a busy guy, doing all your comic book men stuff. But one of the things I like to ask all of my guests, sort of as a last question, is what's your favorite candy?
Definitely Skittles. Skittles are they're like crack. I can't stop eating them. I'm talking all varieties. Regular, the sour ones are my favorite. The mixed berry. They've released a whole bunch of different ones. I did my homework. I made a list here. Second would definitely be the Japanese green tea Kit Kats.
Okay.
Which I can find in the Asian supermarkets here. I'm a big fan of the green tea flavor profile, whether it be the tea itself, ice cream, and I love all the weird Kit Kat flavors. I don't know if you've seen or had the ones where you actually have to put it in an oven and bake them for a little bit.
No, I haven't yet. Actually, I had the opportunity to buy them, but again, they were like $50 a box, so I haven't tried those yet.
No, don't pay $50. I would pay maybe $10 at most. But what baking it does is it caramelizes the sugar, and they're pretty amazing. You just gotta go through the extra step, which is pretty cool.
Have you ever tried any of the weird flavored Kit Kats?
I've green tea, the baking ones. I've tried the strawberry ones, but what other ones am I missing?
Well, I mean, I've tried about 20 or 30 different flavors of Kit Kat in my life. I was actually in Japan for about 3 months researching a book, and they have like hundreds in Japan, and the weirdest one was apple cider vinegar.
Wow. Okay, I would definitely try that. I wonder how popular they are. Would you do it again?
You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was like sort of a tart apple flavor, and that wasn't like so horrible. It wasn't. I mean, it was probably one of the weirder flavors I had, but it was tolerable. I mean, it was still sweet and it was still a Kit Kat bar, so it was good.
Wow, that's a weird flavor. And if I were to go to third on the list, any of the Cadbury Dairy Milk, any of the Cadbury candies from England are way better than the ones in the U.S. I guess they use a higher butterfat content or something, but whatever they do, they're great. So flake, crunchy, like stuff I can't get here.
Yeah.
People from the UK will bring for me.
You can get them in Canada too.
I might just have to make it across the border then. So they're, for whatever reason, they're way better.
Well, what they actually do is in the United States, there's this sort of psychology that a chocolate bar has to look good all the time. And so they actually add fillers, which not necessarily with dairy milk or anything like that, but certain brands actually even use paraffin wax in their chocolate bars to keep them stable.
That is awful. That makes a lot of sense then. I'm a big fan of the Valrhona chocolate too, which I'm guessing there's no paraffin wax in those.
No. I mean, there are definitely no wax in that. I mean, that is just a question of the right amount of butter fat and the right amount of milk and everything. And
that makes so much sense. So if I see a rack of dairy milk and flake and crunchies, I'll definitely stock up.
The other thing you should try, since you like Kit Kat, is try a British Kit Kat bar.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I think their packaging is different. I've seen them, so if I see that, I'm definitely gonna grab it.
Yeah, they're highly worth. I know there's a few stores in New York that sell some British Kit Kats because the couple times I've been there, I've picked up a few, and they're fantastic. The milk chocolate is just so much smoother, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome, and other than that, I like a lot of the vintage candy. Some of them they brought back, some they haven't. When I was growing up, I was a big fan of the lemon heads, and I know they were just all filler, artificial. There's no food in those. There's sugar and artificial coloring. But they had a cherry version called Cherry Clan that I really liked. On the packaging, not the most PC packaging. It was like a little Chinese guy with the slanty eyes. But man, was that candy good! I could look past that just because it was just how good they were.
You're a noble man. You'll put your candy over your own.
Yeah, my morals and my racism. So for sure.
Well, I don't want to take any more of your time because again, I said you're a busy comic book man.
Oh, not at all. This is fun. I can talk about candy all day. So. Well,
maybe we can do this again sometime.
I would love to come back at any time.
That'd be absolutely awesome. And I'd like to thank Ming Chen and check out Comic Book Men. Hopefully, season 6 is going to happen.
Yep, we're still waiting, but numbers were good. And to anybody who watched, thank you. Anybody who hasn't watched, start watching.
And if people want to find you online, I mean, I'm sure most of my listeners are probably fans of Comic Book Man, but where can they find you?
On Twitter, Ming Chen 37. That's MINGCHEN 37. Facebook, Ming Chen Comic Man. Instagram, same thing, Ming Chen 37. I'm not a hard guy to find, so.
Yeah, and I mean, your Instagram feed is quite inspirational because you basically take a picture of everything you eat when you're out at these cons, and it's actually, I know some people make fun of you for it, but I think there's a lot of people that could learn stuff from this, because if you're traveling around, you might find a good restaurant out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's something that I would love to see myself, so why not put it on there?
Cool. Well, thank you again, and this wraps it up for another episode of Junk Food and You. Thanks to Ming Chen for coming on, and good night, everybody. Hey, everybody. It's Chris here. Just a reminder that if you want to keep up with all the fun of the Junk Food Podcast, make sure to follow us. You can follow us on Twitter @CandyCritic or on YouTube. Actually, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, just hit subscribe. Other than that, if you search Candy Critic on YouTube, you'll find us. And if you follow us on YouTube, you can also keep up with our new episodes of Chris, Why Would You Eat That? You can also follow us on Facebook, Tumblr, and many other places. You can find links to all of these social media on candycritic.org. Also make sure, if you want to check out old episodes of Junk Food, go to candycritic.org/junkfood, spelled JUNKFUD. Thanks very much. Bye.
Well, now I got a gal and there ain't no doubt. Kiss is so sweet to make my teeth fall out. Yo,